Hello grade 10 students, welcome to this e-learning session. This is your first e-learning session with me. We have programming grade 10 and what we would be learning is CSS font properties. It's about how you could modify font using CSS, it's cascading style sheets. You have three objectives in this lesson. The first objective is to be able to understand font properties. The second objective is to be able to customize the font using the properties that you learn. Third objective is to be able to differentiate each attribute. So let us start with an example that I have now. If you look at these codes, you must be all knowing them. From HTML to head, it is HTML, and then from style to end of style, this portion, the highlighted portion, is the actual CSS. This is cascading style sheets. What we have done here is we assign paragraph and give it this font family Times New Roman, Times and Serif. There are three types defined here. What this means is when you whatever paragraph you have, okay, sorry for the pause there. As I told you before, what this line of code does is it assigns paragraph a font type. Times New Roman is one kind of font, and Times is another kind of font, and Serif is the third kind of font. The reason why they have three types of font styles are that if Times New Roman doesn't work, if the browser doesn't support Times New Roman, then it would choose Times. If the browser doesn't allow Times, then it would choose Serif. That is why you have three types of fonts. These two, Times and Serif, are the alternative ones. If the first one doesn't work, then it would choose the second. If the second doesn't work, then it would choose the third. So like I told you before, from style to style, this portion is the CSS portion. Using CSS, we just modify this paragraph. You have already studied before that. What does CSS do? CSS modifies the HTML document. After style, there you have the body portion. This body portion defines what actually comes on the website. From body to body, whatever you put here comes on the website. For example, if I change this, to hello, then you would see the result being changed. The reason is this portion from body to body defines what happens in the actual web page. What about CSS then? What CSS does is it modifies the HTML. If you see, if I remove the CSS portion, you will see that the text is normal. But if I add it doesn't change. The reason is, let me try Arial. Let me try the font type Arial. You would see now that this change, the type of font changed. If I revert it back to Times New Roman, then it would change again. So what does this do? This line of codes defines or selects the font type for this paragraph. So this is how you assign a font type to a paragraph. If I am doing it for the heading, what I would do is I would say the heading that we have here is CSS font family H1. H1 under the HTML portion which comes under the body. This is the one that actually writes on the website. But here under the style, what I would do is I would add H1 font dash family, and then I would say I can choose any of the fonts that I wish. Let me say Verdana. Let me try Verdana. If the codes are correct, then it should work. The heading type should change. You will see now that it changed. Hope all of you understood how you change the heading, the paragraph or the heading font style. Okay, welcome back students. What I have here is under the font property called the font size and the font style. There are two kinds of font styles that you could use. One is normal and the other is italic. So if you take this heading, if you see this heading, this is a heading in italic style, that is H1. If you see this comes under the body, so it appears here. This is the real HTML like I told you before. So to customize this, the appearance of this heading 1, what I would do is I would add H1 inside the style portion like this. This whole thing modifies this heading. So if you see, the font style given for H1 is italic. I could change this to normal also. If I change this to normal, you would see the changes. You would see the changes that happens to the heading. If I want, I could also change the size of this font. I could say 15 pixels. You see, there is a change now. If you want, I could make it 40 pixels. It would be even bigger. So what does font style do? It chooses this type of style, the type of style that you want for these letters, and the font size changes the size of the letters or the words in pixels. Okay, and where does this come? This comes under the style in the CSS portion. So H1 in the CSS portion, this portion, it just modifies, it simply modifies whatever is written in the real H1. This is the real H1. This is just the modification of the heading H1. This comes under the style portion, and this comes under the body portion. Okay, so I have to show you one more thing. If I simply erase the whole CSS portion, the text would still be there. That's because the real text is here. But if I erase this, you would see that it goes away. It is because here you have the real text, and in this style portion within this head, within the head tags, open head and close head, the style tags, these define the appearance of the text or appearance of whatever is in the real web page. But these under the body portion, they are the real words or the text or the images or whatever is on the website. Now if I say run, you would have the real H1 and also the modification of the H1. I could change it to italics again. you would see the change on the website. So guys, that was about font style property and font size property. The one that we did before was about font family. Let me give you a small summary of what we did. The font family the font family property defines or chooses the type of text you want, the type of font you want, just like in Microsoft Word. And the font style and the font size property, what they do is, the font style property chooses the type of style, the type of text you want, and the font size, like its name says, chooses the size of the text in pixels. Let me show you once again. If I change this to 12 pixels, the paragraph should become even small. A quick summary about the structure from style to close style. This is CSS. Even if you erase this, nothing happens to the real text. The real text is here. Only if you erase this, then this would disappear. So this is what is actually the real code, the real text that comes on the website. Here, from style to style, it just modifies the real website like this. So I hope all of you understood. Please contact me if you have any feedback. Thank you guys and girls. Thank you.